This presentation is on surface area, and we'll start by answering the question what surface area is. Then we'll figure out how to find the surface area of shapes, and to do that we'll have to figure out how to create shape nets to calculate the area. Alright, so we'll start with what surface area is. So surface area is the total area of the surfaces of all of the various faces of a 3D object. So imagine if I have a rectangular prism there. Well, it's got 6 faces. It's got a top face, that one. It's got a front face. It's got a left face, a bottom, a back, and a right. And the surface area is going to be the sum of all 6 of those faces, the area of all 6 of those faces together. So I take the area of all the various faces and add them up, and that together is my surface area. And of course it doesn't just work for prisms, you can do this with any shape. So right there is a rectangular prism, a rectangular pyramid, and you can see that it's got 5 sides. It's got the side in front, left, back, right, and finally bottom. You have to add up the area of all those sides, and that will get you the surface area. To do this, you need to be able to visualize the sides. So if you imagine there is a right prism, and imagine if I were unwrapping it. So I'm unwrapping that right prism there. Now I can see that there's the right prism, sort of the box or the framework, and there is the outside. And that outside is called a net, or it's the net of the solid. It's the sort of single piece that's put all together to make a solid. So for example, there is a net of a solid. And so if you're able to visualize that, then you can figure out, well, how am I going to figure out the area of each of those pieces? So again, what a net is a net is really simply a folding up of the solid. So you see we take that net and we fold it up, and there is our shape. And nets are not unique. So right here is, if I take this shape, this cuboid, I can unfold it and make that net there, or take that same cuboid and unfold it in a different way and make that cuboid, or make that net right there. But the point is, either of those, if I fold it back up, will make the same cuboid. And so either of those nets would be useful in helping me try to figure out the surface area. So here's a question: which of these 3 options, if I fold it up, will give me this triangular prism on the left here? And so if I do that and I look, I'll notice that only B, if I take B and I were to fold up B, it would actually fold up into my shape here. And there is B, and you can see that it actually, yes, folds up into that shape. All right. So when you visualize these nets, you need to not only be able to visualize the sides, but you need to visualize how big each of the folds or the shapes are. So you can look over here on the left. Here we have a prism, and we're unfolding it below that. And then over on the right is the net, and you'll see the net has all the numbers there that will allow me to be able to calculate the areas to calculate my surface area of all of those. Finally, it's not simply right prisms, it's any kind of shape. Right here is our cylinder, and a cylinder on the right is the net of the cylinder. You can see that if I sort of unwrap the can, I've got a circle on the top and the bottom, and then I've got the outside around of the can, and I can calculate the area of both those, add them up, and that will give me my surface area.